In 1985, a man named David Cook opened a single video rental store in Dallas, Texas. It had 8,000 tapes, a computerized inventory system, and fluorescent lighting so bright you could perform surgery under it. Within 5 years, Blockbuster Video had become the dominant force in home entertainment. Within 20, it was gone. And the reason it died is one of the most expensive business mistakes in human history. To understand what went wrong, you have to understand what Blockbuster got right. Before Blockbuster, renting a video was a miserable experience. You walked into a cramped, disorganized shop run by a guy who barely looked up from his magazine. The selection was random. The store was dark. Half the tapes were out anyway. David Cook looked at this chaos and saw an opportunity. He built Blockbuster like a supermarket. Clean, wide aisles, organized by genre, thousands of titles in stock, trained staff in blue and yellow uniforms. It was revolutionary. Families actually wanted to go there. Friday night at Blockbuster became a ritual for millions of people across America, and eventually the world. By 1992, Blockbuster was opening a new store every 17 hours. Wayne Huizenga, a billionaire entrepreneur who had previously built Waste Management and AutoNation into empires, bought the company and poured rocket fuel on it. He expanded internationally. He negotiated revenue-sharing deals with movie studios that no one else could get. He took the company public. And in 1994, he sold Blockbuster to Viacom for $8.4 billion. At its peak, Blockbuster had 9,000 stores, 60,000 employees, and 65 million registered customers. It was everywhere. It was untouchable. Or so everyone thought. The first crack appeared in the business model nobody questioned: the late fee. If you returned your video even one day late, Blockbuster charged you. These fees were not a minor revenue stream. Late fees generated $800 million a year, roughly 16% of total revenue. The company was not just a video rental business. It was a fine collection system with a video rental business attached. Customers hated it, universally, passionately. The kind of hatred that builds quietly over years until someone comes along offering an alternative. That someone arrived in 1997. His name was Reed Hastings, and he had just been charged $40 in late fees for returning Apollo 13 late to his local Blockbuster. Whether this story is entirely true or slightly embellished for marketing purposes, the anger it represented was real. Hastings co-founded Netflix with a simple proposition: rent DVDs by mail, no late fees, flat monthly subscription. You kept the disc as long as you wanted. When you were done, you sent it back and got the next one on your list. Blockbuster dismissed it. The executives in Dallas looked at Netflix and saw a niche product for internet enthusiasts who didn't want to leave their houses. They couldn't imagine the average family abandoning their Friday night ritual. They were wrong. Not just a little wrong. Catastrophically, fatally wrong. By 2000, Netflix was losing money but growing fast. Reed Hastings walked into Blockbuster's Dallas headquarters and offered to sell the company for $50 million. Blockbuster's CEO John Antioco reportedly laughed him out of the room. The meeting ended quickly. It remains one of the most expensive rejections in corporate history. Netflix today is worth over $200 billion. For a while, Blockbuster had one more chance. In 2004, Antioco finally acknowledged the threat. He hired a new strategy team, canceled the late fees, which cost $400 million in lost revenue but won back enormous customer goodwill, and launched Blockbuster Online to compete directly with Netflix. The online service was actually good, better than Netflix in some ways, because Blockbuster let subscribers exchange their online rentals for in-store ones. It was the best of both worlds. Netflix was rattled. Hastings later admitted that Blockbuster Online genuinely scared him. Then the board fired John Antioco. Activist investor Carl Icahn, who had taken a large stake in Blockbuster, forced him out over a pay dispute. The new CEO, Jim Keyes, came from the convenience store industry. He arrived in 2007 and immediately reversed everything Antioco had built. He brought back late fees. He defended Blockbuster Online. He focused on in-store experience and announced publicly that he saw no threat from Netflix or from this new thing called video streaming. Quote, "I don't see a business model that makes sense for Netflix." In 2007, the year the iPhone launched, the year YouTube was exploding, the year the world was about to change forever, what happened next was swift and brutal. Netflix launched streaming in 2007. Suddenly there was no disc, no shipping, no waiting. You pressed play and the film was there. The friction that had kept rental stores alive, the need to physically obtain a physical object, evaporated overnight. Broadband speeds were climbing. Screens were multiplying. The idea of driving to a shop to pick up a plastic box seemed, very quickly, almost quaint. Blockbuster's debt, accumulated through years of failed strategy, was crushing. The company that had been worth $8 billion filed for bankruptcy in 2010. A satellite dish company called Dish Network bought the remains for $320 million, less than 4 cents on every dollar of its peak value. Dish kept a small number of franchise stores alive for a few years. One by one, they closed. Today there is exactly one Blockbuster left on Earth. It is in Bend, Oregon. It operates as a tourist attraction as much as a video shop. People drive from hundreds of miles away to take photographs outside it. It sells merchandise. The owner, Sandy Harding, has turned it into something between a museum and a monument. A monument to a world where Friday night meant piling into a car, arguing over which film to pick, holding the box and reading the back, and carrying it home like treasure. So what is the real lesson here? The easy answer is, Blockbuster failed to adapt. But that's too simple. Blockbuster saw Netflix coming. It built a competing product that worked. The real failure was internal. A board that prioritized short-term revenue. Those $800 million in late fees, over long-term survival. A corporate structure so rigid it couldn't protect a good idea from a cost-cutting investor. A new CEO who confused confidence with competence. The death of Blockbuster was not one dramatic moment. It was 100 small decisions. Each one defensible in isolation. Each one collectively lethal. Reed Hastings once said that the biggest risk Netflix faced was not competition from other streaming services. The biggest risk was Netflix itself. Becoming too comfortable, too certain, too unwilling to disrupt its own model before someone else did. He had watched Blockbuster die from the inside out. He made sure he never forgot the lesson. The 9,000 blue and yellow stores are gone. The smell of popcorn and plastic cases is a memory. But the story of Blockbuster is not a story about videotapes. It is a story about fear. The fear of cannibalizing your own revenue. The fear of change. The fear of admitting that the thing that made you powerful is the thing that will destroy you. Every industry has a Blockbuster moment coming. The question is whether the people in charge will have the courage to see it and act. Blockbuster didn't. Netflix did. The rest is history. End.